Hello, this is Joshua for Frost Dragon Designs, and today I'd like to talk to you about my Bumper Cat Heart Enamel pin. This pin is part of my monthly Cute Cat Pin Club. Every month, members of the club get a new cute cat pin sent to them directly in the mail. If you join the club anytime before the end of April 2024, the first pin you'll receive is the Bumper Cat. Now let's get into the design. So the first thing that I want to say is that you can see that I tried to reuse part of the car from my T-Rex hot rod for this pin design because I like recycling things, and I thought it might save me a little bit of time. We'll see in a few minutes that it does not save me time. But the other thing that I wanted to say is that the Bumper Cat was actually the very first sketch that I put in a new sketchbook that I had. So it's kind of a joy to see it brought to life in a pin, and I'm excited to be shipping these out. I mean, I draw and sketch constantly. I will draw on any scrap of paper that I can find, and to stop myself from losing scraps of paper all over the house, I buy cheap steno pads, I buy cheap sketchbooks. I really love these cheap sketchbooks that I got from Aldi, from the Isle of Shame. I bought as many of them as they had. They were like $3 each, and they're really good quality. And I'll probably never see them again, but I really enjoyed those. But the Bumper Cat was the first sketch that I put in one of those sketchbooks when I opened it up for the first time. So shout out to cheap Aldi sketchbooks. But as for this pin design, you saw that I scrapped the recycling attempt of the Dino Hot Rod, and then I opened up, I think, the Spilled Roses pin design, and I stole the cat from that and kind of built the bumper car around the cat. I guess I should also address what is a bumper car for those of you that have never had the experience. It's like a ride at a carnival or at an amusement park. They are little electric engine cars, and they have rubber padding around the base of them, and kind of the point is to bump into other people driving their bumper cars, hence, bumper cars. You're supposed to hit the other cars. That's the object. The object of it is not to have, perfect, clean, good driving. The object of it is to bump into other people. Kids especially love riding in bumper cars, especially when their parents are in a separate car and they can bump into their parents' car. They always find that hilarious. I think they go a lot slower today than they did when I was a kid. I remember them being pretty quick and pretty violent with the collisions when I was a kid. And I remember that you used to be able to just drive wherever in a bumper car ride. But now, they make you go around all in the same direction in the same circle because they don't want head-on collisions and all these other things. It makes so much sense. And I agree with all that. It's weird to think that, things that were common experiences for me as a kid are just not possible anymore today. And I'm sure that happens with every generation, right? I think every generation has things where they're like, back in my day, otherwise that wouldn't be a phrase. So, back in my day, bumper cars were faster and we could have head-on collisions. Not that I recommend or endorse that sort of thing. Anyway, as I was doing some research for this pin, it was really interesting to see, the huge variety of appearance of how bumper cars looked. I mean, they all kind of have some things in common. They're all obviously going to have a steering wheel. They all have a bench where you sit. They all have some sort of either a lap belt or an over-the-shoulder belt. And they have the guide pole to get electricity from the grid work of metal up above. But as far as the shape of the bodies, there's a pretty big variety that I saw. And so that kind of just led me to the thought of, well, there's not a specific look that we're trying to get, so let's just go for what feels fun, what feels like it would be a fast, fun car for a bumper car. And so obviously, my first color choice was red because, probably because of companies like Ferrari and Porsche and that sort of thing. You always see images of the red sports car. So red feels like it means speed half the time. Although, other colors look fast too, so I don't know. But I wanted this one to be red with some white striping on it or white detailing. And I thought that would look really slick. And as a sidebar, I've been thinking of doing another bumper car pin design, only instead of a cat, it's going to be my opossum because he's always screaming and he looks like he should be in a bumper car. And so I think he's going to be driving a green and black bumper car, and he is going to be driving in the other direction so they can have a head-on collision. So I don't know, maybe later in 2024 I'll release my bumper opossum. But anyway, the bumper cat design came together pretty cleanly, and I was overall pretty happy with it. But I think I spent too much time looking at it. I don't know if you all have this issue, but like sometimes if I look at something for too long, it stops looking like what it's supposed to be. Like I have this issue with things that I'm drawing specifically. It's kind of like when you say a word a whole bunch of times and like it weirdly loses meaning. I don't know if you've ever had that experience either. It's something like that, but it's with things that I draw. I have that experience sometimes. And this suddenly stopped looking like a bumper car to me, and like the best I could figure was it looked like a shoe. And that kind of was like, I don't know if I like this design anymore. But I set it aside for I think like a week or two, and I came back to it, and it was back to looking like a bumper car, and I was happy with it again. So I don't know. That's just kind of a weird thing that happens to me sometimes. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching me design this pin. I hope you've enjoyed hearing my ramblings along with it. If you did, please go ahead, like, and subscribe. I try to release at least one new video a week, and I would love to have you along for the next one. So thank you so much for your time, and have a great rest of your day.